Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling if that's okay with everybody. My name is Tracy Lewis, and this is an overview of the eXp Realty model with a focus on how to get wealthy and financially free in real estate without working a whole lot of hours and without working weekends and without making cold calls. So this is one of my favorite slides I've seen in our amazing company, and this just shows you the exponential growth that eXp Realty is experiencing right now. In 2018, our company rose by 139%, and you see it's
80%.
So it's definitely an exciting time to be a part of this groundbreaking company. And, you know, this is just our nice little legal disclaimer here. I'm going to have to close this out so I can see all of this. The earnings for trade are not necessarily representative of the income, if any, that an eXp agent can or will earn the sustainable revenue share plan. These figures should not be considered as guarantees or projections of your actual earnings or profits. Any representations of guarantee of earning would be misleading. Success with eXp results only from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, leadership. Your success will depend on how effectively you exercise. And you're definitely going to be hearing about the eXp Realty model from some of the top income earners from the company. So we're here to talk to you about all the great things going on in our beautiful company. A little bit of background about me. I've been in real estate now for 22 glorious years. I previously owned the fourth largest Century 21 office in the United States. I've trained thousands and thousands of agents. Was the top recruiter globally for Keller Williams the first year that I was with them. I graduated from Baylor, Sic 'em Bears, and Tony Robbins Master University, had my NLP certification, and I've really been a lifelong learner. And what I found with real estate is that every model has a small little tweak on that's trying to make it a little bit different. Then Keller Williams came on board with a radically different model that was much more agent-centered. And what we found is that there's really three different kinds of real estate companies. There's companies that focus on you know, that focus on the real estate brokers, okay? So that's when companies that are focused on the consumers. Those are a lot of the cut rate real estate companies that we see out there where maybe consumers are getting a portion of the commission back. And then there's agent-centered companies. And year to date, there's only one, and that's eXp Realty. We're going to talk to you about why this is the absolute best choice for eXp agents. Mr. Hayes, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, yeah. So I'm Pat Hayes here in San Antonio, Texas with eXp Realty. And I've been in real estate here in San Antonio for about 5.5 years. I started my career at a boutique brokerage firm and really found my passion selling real estate my first year as a single agent. I did $3.2 million in production as a single agent and wanted to scale and leverage myself. And so I started a real estate team my second year, started the Pat Hayes Group, hired 2 buyers agents. In that second year, we did 12.5 million, 61 transactions here in San Antonio. You know, really loving it, you know, growing, making a lot of great money, really educating myself to be the best team leader that I could be. And then I actually got a life-changing phone call about 46 months ago to, you know, take a look at the new business model that was truly disrupting the real estate industry and also changing the way that agents are getting compensated. And I took a look at it, and it was definitely a no-brainer for me. And so I saw the opportunity, and you know, I dove straight in. So I've been with eXp now for 46 months, and personally been able to sponsor 37 agents that has grown into over 2,000 agents, spanning almost 43 states now in 3 Canadian provinces, and you know, really having a lot of fun. And you know, just like what Gene Frederick always says, eXp is making real estate fun again. And you know what, I'm getting ready to celebrate my 4th year, and I did hit the double comma club with revenue share in less than 4 years. I've earned over $1 million in revenue share in less than 4 years here at this amazing company, and so it's definitely changed my life, you know, as a realtor, also as a team leader, but you know, also changed my family's life as well too. So you know, thank you, Tracy, for your leadership.
My pleasure. Thank you, Pat, for your leadership. I got to tell you, the company changed the day that Pat Hayes jumped on board. He came in with this infectious enthusiasm and this incredible passion for really setting real estate agents free, and is just an incredible inspiration to me and everybody else in our company. So I'm honored to be your business partner. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So my goal for this presentation is to help two kinds of real estate agents. For those that are struggling in their careers, you're going to get a simple roadmap so you'll have the opportunities in real estate that you've always dreamed of. And for successful real estate agents like Pat, when he took a look at this, I'm going to show you how you can actually get free from the hamster wheel and leverage influence. I tell people that, you know, when an agent comes to EXP, if they're a newer agent or a struggling agent, they come because they know that it is the very best opportunity for them to build their real estate business. But for rock star real estate agents like Pat and some of the other folks that we'll be talking to today, those agents come on board because they are capable of doing math. And when you see the math behind the EXP model that Glenn Sanford has created, you will understand why it is financially irresponsible to be with any other real estate company other than EXP. So we're going to learn why the best way for you to grow your business exponentially is by aligning yourself with EXP. EXP has the tools, systems, and playbook to help you get financially free. So I'm going to talk about 3 secrets about EXP and then turn things over to Mr. Hayes. The first secret is lead generation. EXP has free lead generation systems that allow you to easily attract the kind of buyers and sellers that you want to work with. And Pat's going to talk about that a lot more as we get a little further into this magnificent presentation. Number 2 is the training. EXP has over 40 hours a week of live training classes to help you build your business and to support your dreams. So we're going to talk more about training as well. And then number 3, time freedom. EXP is the only revolutionary rev share model and stock so you can live a life of time and money freedom. So take a look at that picture there. Every morning, Dave and I live, well, when EXP found me, I was living in a 1,400 square foot apartment in Texas. I was the #1 recruiter globally for Keller Williams. I was a mega agent, did $20 million in sales, and I was still stuck in a bedroom in San Antonio, Texas. This past December, I moved. I don't know if you can see, maybe you probably can't because I think I'm showing my screen. I'll show you pictures in a little bit. Dave and I now live on the 39th floor of Trump Hollywood in Hollywood, Florida. 5,300 magnificent square feet, balconies off of every room, and it really is paradise. And so every morning we set our alarm for sunrise and we go down and we watch the sunrise over the magnificent Atlantic Ocean. And literally we do that every single day we are in town, unless there are torrential rains. And there's always people out there taking pictures, everybody from professional photographers to people with little cameras. And so we were walking back toward our beautiful condo, and this gentleman stopped us and said that he took this really great picture of Dave and me. And you can even see a little shadow if you really zoom in there. And that is Dave and me this morning walking the beach. So I think that signifies the kind of time and money freedom that some of us have been able to achieve through this groundbreaking company. So anyway, oh, that's not a very clear picture, is that? I apologize. So RE/MAX was founded in 1973. In 1984, RE/MAX grew to 5,000 agents. It took them 11 years. Keller Williams was founded in 1983, and in 1993, Keller Williams grew to 5,000 agents. It took them 10 years as well. EXP Realty was founded in 2009. 10 years later, we are over 23,000 agents. So that just shows you that when you look at the icons in our industry, no one is even close to the kind of growth that EXP has had. And that is because it is an agent-centered model that helps real estate agents build businesses, make more money, keep more money, and actually have an opportunity for financial freedom. So this is one of my favorite questions. What thing would have to be true 3 years from now to make this the best decision that you have ever made? So Pat, you talked about this briefly. You and I are about to hit our 4-year anniversary with this groundbreaking. 4 years ago, when you were introduced to this model, could you ever have imagined the life that you and your family now have?
Never at all. My wildest dreams.
What do you think has been the real cornerstone of the freedom that you guys have been able to achieve through this awesome company?
Well, you know, since it's really through the revenue share, you know, and I'm sure we'll get into that here in a little bit though, but you know, just to kind of give you guys some numbers, whenever I joined EXP here in San Antonio, we had about 5 or 6 agents here. Now we have over, you know, 650 agents here just alone here in San Antonio in my market. And then nationwide, we had a little over 800 agents. And, you know, just like what Traci said, you know, we've got over 23,000 agents. And so it's been an unbelievable experience to see in less than 4 years the growth from less than 1,000 agents to 23,000 agents. And it's just so fun to introduce EXP to like-minded individuals, like a lot of agents here on the webinar today, and help them change their life. I've got a life-changing phone call, and now I'm able to actually reciprocate that and give other agents life-changing phone calls as well too. So the revenue share has truly been a life-changing experience for me and definitely my family.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Beautiful, beautiful testimonial. So innovation is always happening. Pat, you want to talk about this little slide right here?
Yeah, and this is a great slide. And so I always like to say, who remembers Blockbuster? Whenever I was young in elementary school, the local Blockbuster to definitely rent a movie with my sister, and now that Blockbuster is gone, it's now a med clinic. And so what happened? Technology. Netflix put out Blockbuster. Amazon. You can literally order anything off of Amazon within a few hours or a day. It's literally sitting on your doorstep. And again, they're calling us the Uber of real estate, and that's what EXP is doing to the traditional real estate model, is definitely disrupting it with our platform and our disruptive model.
And I love what our brilliant founder, Glenn Sanford, says. He says that our company will always be in beta. Netflix,
right.
They were founded, they couldn't imagine streaming. So, but Netflix was able to disrupt the industry, and then they've continued that disruption. And because of our agility and just because of the platform that we are able to enjoy, we're going to be able to continue to move with the needs of the consumers and the needs of the real estate agents. Yeah. So this absolutely explosive growth. Dave, would you mind telling us a little bit about the explosive growth that EXP has experienced? Dave Gagnon, who is my sweetheart, is also the second person that I met when I jumped on board with EXP. At the time, he was the director of growth. He joined the company when there were 123 agents. And so, Dave, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your story, and then talk a little bit about the explosive growth that EXP's experienced?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, 6.5 years ago, we ended that year with 272 agents, and the next year, 465 and 864. And then 2,200, 6,600, and now 23,000, right? And so through that, it's just been not only agent count growing, but the value of the company growing, right? So we were a private company 6.5 years ago. Shortly after that, we went public. Now we're on the NASDAQ. All of the agents have stock, and we'll get into that in a little bit. That we're layering in healthcare for the agents and additional revenue streams with loan origination entities and sharing and all those kind of things. So the growth has been absolutely through the roof, not only in agent count and production and sides closed and volume and income and all those things, but also in how we support the agents in every way.
Yeah, beautiful. Excellent. And so much of that has to do with EXP's core value. The one that I think serves us about as well as anything else out there is our agility. And because we're not saddled with bricks and mortar, we're able to move very, very quickly and be responsive to the needs of the agents and of the consumers as well. Pat, which of the core values is one of your favorites?
Yeah, and you know what? You guys probably all know this, but my favorite one is fun. We're definitely having a lot of fun. I like to have fun, and the other agents that are taking a look at EXP and taking a look at us, they see how much fun we're having, and who wouldn't want to be a part of a real estate brokerage firm that you get to have fun, you get lead generation systems, you get training, you get stock, and you get revenue share, and so put all that together, and it's a fun business.
Amen to that. True words never been spoken. So a little bit about the EXP world. So when I first came on board with EXP and they talked about the cloud campus they had, and I went in and I checked it out, I got to tell you, I thought it was kind of hokey. I just thought, well, why don't we just have Zoom meetings like this? And the reason is because actually the EXP world model is groundbreaking in every possible way. Our world was actually designed by a behavioral psychologist, and the whole focus of EXP world is actually to help agents feel more and more connected to one another. And it's absolutely brilliant, the psychological things that happen when you do business as an avatar. In addition to that, we're able to get real-time support, specialized department, team collaborations, team rooms, information sharing, training every single day except Saturday, and large-scale meetings as well. And we're able to offer over 40 hours a week of live training classes. And again, we'll talk about that a little bit more. But I actually have a pretty nifty little tour of the world too.
Today, I'd like to give you a 90-second tour of the.
Can y'all hear that okay? Hear and see? Oh, sharing is paused. Let's see here. Resume share. Okay, can y'all see this?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, just a second.
Today, I'd like to give you a 90-second tour of EXP's world. This is our tech outpost.
Can y'all see my video?
No, we don't see it now.
Okay, hold on just a second here. Let me go back to. I think that does the trick. Okay, how about now?
Over here, you'll find our
Yep.
services and our transaction management team. Behind the Today, I'd like to give you a 90-second tour of EXP world. This is our tech outpost. Over here, you'll find our agent services and our transaction management team. Behind the transaction management team building, if you work your way around the backside, you'll find our interview area and our resources department. We have a beautiful view of the Cloud Campus Lake. Working our way back over to the welcome area, around to the other side of the tech outpost, you'll find our executive leadership offices. You can find a lot of them here, oftentimes in the cloud, doing work, having meetings, collaborating with other leadership. This is our new entry area for new users. We have our veteran welcome area. And if you go through the foyer here, you'll find our accounting department. Off to the right here, you'll see our brokerage operations headed up by Kathy Gordon. And then if you work your way back on over towards the soccer field, you'll notice the RE Tech campus. We do have a nice soccer field, lighthouse, a beach, lots of great amenities here. One of my favorites, of course, is the RE Tech campus for industry outreach. In here, you'll find facilities like our theater. We have a conference hall. We even have a computer lab classroom and a lounge for our VIP guests. Making our way back to the welcome area, I just wanted to invite everybody in. We have meeting rooms, productivity center, lots of space around and in around the campus for collaboration. Here's the auditorium where I spend a great deal of my time. So there you have it, the EXP World Tour in 90 seconds or less. Thank you.
All right, a little bit about our beautiful campus, that's for sure. Let me see here, go back to my presentation here. Okay, can y'all see this slide now?
Not yet. We still see YouTube.
All right, how's that?
There we go. Yep.
All right, beautiful, beautiful. There we go. So here is our training classes. Oh, wow, they updated the slide, yay. So this is this week's training class schedule. You know, you think about your typical real estate company, and if they're lucky if they've got 2 or 3 training classes going on a week, and they really have to focus on the rookie agents, teaching people how to do contracts, maybe the basics like working with expireds. Well, because of the format that we have, we've got the very best training classes and opportunities out there. So Sunday at 9 o'clock, all these are Eastern time, is Real Estate 101, which is actually our best attended class campus-wide. On Monday, 2 days ago, there's Farming for Dollars, Sky Slut Basic Training, X-Camp, which is all about how to leverage technology, Commercial and Investing Mastermind, Sky Slut Advanced Training, Goal Setting for Agents, Productivity for Capping. Tuesday, yesterday, Data Place Management Fundamentals, EXP Agent Orientation, EXP Negotiation that works, Strategies for Working with Buyers, Lead Generation Workshops, Listing Presentation Training, Making It Rain Lead Generation, Prospecting and Lead Generation, Team Building with KV Core, and Brand and Empower Yourself with Video. This is today's classes. EXP World Training, Grow, Build, and Scale with Video, Mentor to Mentor Training, Introduction to EXP Realty, Sky Slut Basic Training, Agent Orientation, and Marketing Center Training. These are the classes tomorrow, and if you want to attend any of these classes, just let any of us know and we'll get you a guest pass. EXP Enterprise Training, Introduction to EXP Realty in Espanol, Icon Agent Orientation, Real Estate Content Creators for more experienced agents, the math behind lead generation, Making It Rain Lead Generation, getting started with RPR, I have no idea what that is. Accounting 101, EXP Agent Orientation, KV Core Advanced Training, and Social Media Mastermind. And then on Friday, we have our leadership meeting where the entire company comes together. iConversations. We're going to talk more about the Icon Agent Program in a little bit. That's where the best and brightest and most successful real estate agents in our company come in and share how they are knocking it out of the park with eXp Realty. Introduction to eXp Realty, KV Core Q&A, and video for real estate agents. So as you can see, there's classes for rookie agents. Above and beyond that, every single state has their own meetings that happen at usually once a week. And there's specific contract training classes for every individual state. Of course, in many different teams and many different cities, there's live training classes. San Antonio has 2 or 3 live training classes every single week, right, Pat?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. So people say, "Oh, well, you're cloud-based." Well, yeah, but we have real live training classes as well. So it's really the perfect blend. But what this does is it enables real estate agents in smaller markets to get world-class training just as though they were in the heart of Dallas. Beautiful company. International collaboration. So we're in all 50 states. We're in the United Kingdom. We're in Australia. And of course, we're in Canada as well. So lots of fabulous growth. And so if you want to be a part of a company that's growing and building, then man, you've got some great opportunities. Dave, do you want to talk about the healthcare that's going to be coming soon in just a couple of weeks?
I would like to be able to talk about it more, but they're releasing the details on November 4th. But, most offices are very small, right? You might have a couple of, you might have a broker owner and an admin or receptionist or something like that. But with eXp, we have, I think now well over 450 employees that work for either the parent company being eXp World Holdings or the real estate brokerage. So that gives us incredible buying power, and I'm expecting it to be very competitive and something that can really help all of our agents and the agents that are coming over.
Yeah, we've already seen a lot of agents that have jumped on board simply because we'll be offering healthcare here in a couple of weeks. Exciting times. Express offers. Pat, have you done much research into this Express Offers program?
You know what? I have not taken the training yet, though. But from what we learned at EXPCon, is going to be unbelievable with what this platform offers.
Yeah, it should be a really great opportunity for agents to actually procure even more listings. We'll be able to meet the needs of the consumers in a radically different way and just have more and more opportunities to have conversations with people that are interested in selling their property. So I truly believe that this is going to be one of the best lead generation systems for us eXp agents. And like everything else with eXp, it's all geared around how do we help the agents become more successful and how do we meet the needs of the consumer. So it's about as win-win as you can possibly get. Yeah, eXp Enterprise. Now, Pat, I know that you and your dad spend a whole lot of time in this back office. Do you want to tell everybody what cool stuff you can do in your back office?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, yeah. So I like to say that eXp Enterprise is kind of the backbone to the agent's business, and so this is actually built by eXp Realty. It's not a third-party platform that we lease or anything like that. This is actually built by eXp for the agents, and so every single agent that joins eXp gets their own eXp Enterprise account. So this is basically where you track, of course, all of your production, all of your sales. You can track your equity awards, your stock. You can track your revenue share organization, and then also it gives you access to like SkySlope or eXp World, the Making It Rain, Extend a Hand. Everything is there, for the agents.
Yeah, it's a brilliant business model. Absolutely. eXp Enterprise, so we've gone over that. SkySlope is basically paperless transactions, and there's some really super cool features that go along with SkySlope. So if you're doing a deal with, Bob and Susie, the sellers, every time that you send an email to Bob and Susie, you can actually blind carbon copy a specific email address that's associated with that transaction. And both you and the client have a 7-year record of every single correspondence that went on between you guys. So what it does is it helps us that maybe we don't remember all the details, but we've always got those paper trails. It really helps us take much better care of our clients during the transactions and after the sales as well. And above and beyond that, the SkySlope system is what enables those of us that can legally get paid at the closing table, like we can in the great state of Texas, get paid as soon as the deal funds. So it's a great system for eXp agents to be able to really manage their business. Workplace by Facebook. There are hundreds and hundreds of special workplace groups. Everything from special classes. The biggest workplace group within our Facebook organization is actually the EXP Power Girls, which is devoted to encouraging and inspiring each other, which is a really beautiful place to be. Every state has their own workplace group. Every city has their own workplace group. It's a great place to send referrals. If you've got an issue that comes up, maybe you're a rookie agent and you're writing an offer at 10:30 at night and you have a question, you can pop onto Workplace and get answers immediately from agents all over the country. It really creates a much more powerful level of connection than any of us could ever imagine. We're very grateful for Glenn for bringing this to us. And I've actually been told that EXP is the most active company within the entire Workplace by Facebook organization. So it's pretty cool when you consider how many Fortune 500 companies are using the same system. So marketing branding. So I've got a great story about this. When I jumped on board with EXP, there was one really bad listing presentation that was in our marketing. And so I asked permission, hey, can I upload a couple? And a few other agents did too. And so there were 4 or 5 different listing presentations out there. So I was with Glenn as part of the Canadian launch earlier this year. And we were talking about the listing presentations. And man, wouldn't it be great if we had a few more really great listing presentations? And then Glenn's eyes kind of glaze over a little bit and he says, give me a minute. And he hops on his phone and he posts in Workplace by Facebook that he's offering $5,000 to the best listing presentation. So we ran a 2-week competition where every agent in the company could upload their listing presentations for every other agent in the company to use. And Glenn Sanford wrote a check for $5,000 for the listing presentation that us agents felt like it was the best and most helpful. So now we've got 40, 50 listing presentations that we can go in and pick and choose from. So maybe you're a rookie agent and you've never done a luxury listing presentation and you've got one coming up. You can go and you can go through all the listing presentations and pick a little bit from this one and a little bit from this one. Maybe you're working with a first-time home buyer and you want to make sure you've got a presentation to talk with them. Anything that you need, our marketing and branding department probably has something canned that you can access 24 hours a day and then fully customize to meet the needs of you and your client. Pretty dumb.
Yeah, and also real quick, Traci, in regards to the marketing and branding, just alone last week, I saw on Workplace by Facebook that there was over 7,500 downloads just last week for our marketing and branding. You know, when it comes to listing presentations, buyer presentations, door hangers, creating flyers, you know, lunch and learn flyers, whatever it is, but over 7,500 downloads just alone last week was absolutely amazing.
Well, and you know, Pat, that really speaks to how interactive us real estate agents are within the EXP brand as well. I mean, you know, we're sharing information and we're learning from each other, and it's just a radically different business model, you know?
Yep.
That's awesome. CRM lead generation. So Pat Hayes does lead generation about as well as any human being I've ever met in my entire life. Can you tell everybody a little bit about the power of the lead generation systems?
Sure, yeah. And so I always kind of like to share this story. So whenever I first got started in the business at my boutique brokers, you know, they didn't give me any platform systems to help me generate massive amounts of buyer and seller leads. I actually had to start doing open houses 7 days a week on my own to start generating leads. And so I wish I had you know, KV Core and conversion whenever I first got into the business. It would, you know, help me grow my business a lot faster. But whenever I saw this platform system, I knew that it was very, very, very expensive outside of EXP. If you had KV Core, it would cost you about $1,000 setup fee, anywhere from $600 to $800 a month outside of EXP. And we actually offer and give this platform system to you guys for $50 a month to help you generate massive amounts of buyer and seller leads. You know, by posting ads on Craigslist, by generating squeeze pages, by generating landing pages. And we have a ton of agents, you know, generating anywhere from, you know, I've heard agents, you know, from 100 to 300 leads a week, you know, with their platform system. And again, these are exclusive leads to you guys. This is not a round robin where, you know, it's like a realtor.com or Zillow where it, you know, goes to 10 or 15 different agents. These are actually your exclusive leads into your database. And so right now for my team, we're generating about 100 leads a week right now. You know, with this platform system, and it's unbelievable. But yet, it's so user friendly, and also we do offer a lot of you know, hands-on live training in our EXP world. And then also my dad, we call him Conversion Bob. He's actually a master at conversion and KV Core, and so he actually offers a lot of training as well to other agents to help them learn how to you know, generate massive amounts of buyer and seller leads with the platform system. So it's an unbelievable platform system. And agents are absolutely loving it to help them grow their business.
Absolutely. And you know, I feel like for most real estate agents, the A+ number one reason that they do decide to jump on board with eXp Realty is because they need to make more money in their traditional real estate business. And eXp, because we were founded by Glenn Sanford, who was a lead generation visionary back, 15 years ago, he really has made sure that our agents have the best tools possible to make the most money in their real estate business. So great.
Right.
Brilliant, brilliant. And production matters at eXp. So when I jumped on board with eXp, our stock was trading at 64 cents, and we were an over-the-counter stock. And so my colleagues laughed at me, ha, 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 that penny stock company, ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, well, I didn't get stock from any other company that I worked for, so penny stock's better than no stock at all.
Right.
Yeah, but when we uplisted to the NASDAQ, our competitors could no longer laugh that we're penny stock. So now our competitors say, oh, well, all that company does is recruit. And you know what? I think our competitors are right on that. We just happen to be recruiting and attracting the absolute best and brightest agents in the industry. A lot of the celebrity real estate agents, the big coaches, the massive teams that have come in on board. So these are real trends. This is the Real Trends 500, and these are 2019 statistics. So as recent as you can possibly get, eXp is the number one, and these are nationwide numbers. Every real estate company in the U.S. plugs into this system. We were number one top movers by transactions from 2017 to 2018, number two top movers by volume, number two largest real estate company in the entire United States. This next one is my favorite, number four transaction size. Pat, do you remember what we were in 2017? What number we were?
I don't. What were we?
41.
Wow.
Yeah, so from
That's
40,
a big change.
exactly. Number five by closed sales, number five billionaire club, number three top brokerage by agent count, number four top brokerage by size, and number six by sales volume. So if you want to be at a company where the agents are producing massive amounts of real estate sales, you are in the right place at the right time. These are our fees to get started, $149 to get started. You get a ton of stuff for that, including business cards, folders, your conversion site, a lead generation site for attracting agents, and a bunch of other stuff, thousands of dollars worth of stuff. The commission is 80-20 as long as you're a producing real estate agent. If you're a rookie agent, there is a mentorship program that we have, and you share some of that cash with the mentor for your first few deals. But for anybody that's a producing real estate agent already, you're on an 80-20 split with a $16,000 cap. Now you have to take that with a grain of salt, and I'm going to go into those details in a little bit later as well. After that, you're on 100% for the rest of your anniversary year. And these are U.S. fees. The Canadian fees are a little bit different. After you've capped, there's a $250 cap transaction fee on your next 20 deals. Then that drops to $75. But if you're doing that kind of production, we're going to talk about the Agent Icon program in just a few minutes. Your only monthly fees are $85 a month, $25 per deal for broker review, and then $40 for errors and omission. And that caps at $500. And I don't know of any other company that caps your E&O. I know that when I had my Century 21 franchise, E&O was actually my number one profit center. So eXp takes great care of the agents that are involved with our company. So equity opportunities. So sustainable equity plan. Mr. Hayes, would you like to talk a little bit about these kind of the equity plan?
You bet, yeah. And so I always like to kind of tell the agents, how awesome would that be, to earn shares of stock for really doing what you're already doing, at your previous brokerage firm. And so, I was at that boutique brokerage firm for 2 years, and I helped them get their agent count from one agent, which was myself, up to 65 agents in a little over 2 years. And, all I got was Starbucks gift cards. And, yes, I love coffee, but, I do love stock too as well. And so, just for doing the exact same thing that I did over there, doing it over here at eXp, I get rewarded in shares of stock as well too. So you can actually earn shares of stock on your first transaction and every single year that you're at eXp. Whenever your cap resets and you do your first transaction, you can actually earn shares of stock as well too. And then also, let's see.
Sorry.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, and then also earn shares of stock whenever you fully cap. So whenever you, just like Traci was saying, whenever you paying your $16,000 for your cap, 80-20 split, $16,000 for your cap, you're going to cap. The company is going to reward you for being a successful agent by selling a lot of real estate, by taking advantage of our training classes, by learning how to generate massive amounts of buyer and seller leads to sell more real estate. So whenever you cap, the company is going to reward you shares of stock. And then also earn shares of stock whenever you sponsor an agent and bring them to a webinar, bring them to a lunch and learn, let them see the opportunity, and they think it's a no-brainer as well, just like I did, and they name you as a sponsor, they do their first transaction, then the company's going to reward you shares of stock as well too.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you want to talk a little bit about the Agent Icon program this
Sure,
year?
sure. Yeah, I was actually on the Icon Agent Vetting Committee here at EXP for a little over 3 years, and I just stepped down so someone else can step back up. But it was a lot of fun, and so agents that are doing massive amounts of production, if you're capping and doing over 20 transactions a year by yourself within your calendar year, you can actually receive your $16,000 cap back in the form of stock, which is huge. And we have a ton of Icon agents here in San Antonio. We've got a ton of Icon agents in Texas and all across the country as well too. And so every single month, I think it was last month, I think we had over 50 icons just for the month. And so truly unbelievable whenever you see agents truly building wealth by receiving their cap back in the form of company stock, which is unbelievable. And then the next one is the agent equity program. I always like to say it's like a little 401k for agents. We're all self-employed. We're 1099 employees. We don't have 401ks. We're not W-2 employees, but you can actually opt in. You don't have to, but you can actually opt in and take advantage and enroll. Every single transaction that you close, you can take 5% of the commissions and buy the stock at a 20% discount. So it's like a little 401k program, for the agents as well too. And again, you don't have to do it, but I urge you to do it. I've done it every single transaction that I've closed here at EXP in the last, almost 4 years.
Yeah, you'd have to be bad at math to not do it. So
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so let me go back, and I've got another little video that I want to share with you guys here. And this is our amazing Mr. Tim Macy, who is one of our rock star agents here in the San Antonio place. And then let me go back to my, let's see here. Can you guys see my screen?
Let's see, yes.
Share, let's see here. Share, oops. Share. Sorry, technical difficulties here. Share. Okay, can y'all see Tim Macy there?
Yep.
All right, beautiful.
Woo! Sweating. It's hot. I was going to skip my workout, but Mitchell and Heidi at my CrossFit box told me I need to get something in, so I got the heavy bag in. I worked 10 rounds on the heavy bag, and I'm exhausted. And then, after I'm a sweaty mess, I'm going to get in the shower. I got my email from EXP. What email was that? That email was that I hit Icon Agent. See, there's a lot of different opportunities right now if you're an agent. There's a lot of different brokerages offering a lot of different stuff, and I love looking at all of them. I think there's a lot of value to be had at all of your options depending on who you are. But there's one thing that EXP is doing that I really honestly can't see anywhere else. And Kyle Whistle pointed this out to me. It's, every brokerage, the more you make, the more they take. That's just how it goes, right? You sell more, you pay in more transaction fees, you pay in more of a cap, you pay in more of your split. The more you make, the more they take. It's just how the model is. At EXP, I just hit Icon Agent. They're going to pay me back the full $16,000 that I paid in a cap in company stock. Like, nobody else does that. Nobody pays your cap back simply because you're doing better. The more I make, the better I do in my business. Everything just naturally grows, and I keep making more every year. So shout out to my man, Glenn Sanford, for putting this whole thing together and being the mastermind behind founding this company in this new structure and this completely different way of doing things. But honestly, it's Pon's birthday. You guys know that. If you're on my Facebook, you know it's Pon's birthday. What's up, everybody watching? I got a couple people now. What's up, Dave Calloway? So it's Pon's birthday. I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do. And one thing I wanted to do tonight was really plan out our Disney vacation in 2020, because we want to go back to Disney World for our 10th anniversary in 2020. And to get an email from my company saying, hey, you got an extra $16K going towards your balance sheet, it lifts a little weight off the shoulders, and it just allows me to think a little bigger and do a little more. So Glenn, I don't know if you're watching, but thanks for everything. And all my EXP family, I could see a bunch of you watching. Thank you, because we're all in it together, and we're all building this company together. So thanks, everybody. Have an awesome day. Later.
Isn't that great? Isn't Tim just an awesome business?
Love it. That's exciting.
I think so too. Okay, can you guys see my screen again?
Let's see. I just see you.
All right, now you see it? You see Tim?
Here. No, not yet.
Just a second here. Share. Back to Keynote. All right, there we go. That should do it, right?
There we go. Yep.
Okay, so I want to go back to a couple of, I want to talk about my personal equity awards that I've got. So what we're going to talk about here, this is this historical report. All shares granted under the stock award program will only be issued after all performance and other vested requirements have been met under the plan. For first transactions awards, agents have to be with the company in good standing for 3 years from the date the company resolution acknowledges the achievement and eligibility. And then vesting requirements for capping agents, an agent has to stay with the company for 3 years from the date the company acknowledges that they've gotten those awards. And then for sponsorship award, the way the sponsorship award works is that I was very blessed to sponsor Pat Hayes. And so after he was with the company for 3 years and I stayed with the company for 3 years, those stocks were fully vested. So thank you, Pat Hayes. Yeah, and I took a big chunk of that capping award, that stock award, and I actually bought Pat Hayes a very special present. Pat, what did I give you for hitting the double comma club at EX?
It was a nice Rolex.
Yeah, I know. Pretty exciting stuff. So thank you for being the best business partner a woman could ever have. So I'm going to talk about my personal equity award program. Now, again, I came into the company at a great time. My success is not indicative of everybody else's success, just to let you know. So the stock right now, as of today, is trading at $8.68 a share. So back on October 8th, the stock was trading at almost that same price, a little bit less than it is now, a few pennies. So I've taken 5% of my commission and I bought the stock at a 20% discount. So far I've got 6,655 shares of stock. For that stock, I paid $12,498.91. Now, when I was with Century 21 and with Keller Williams, I paid a 6 to 8% franchise fee. So instead of paying those companies that 6% franchise fee, instead I took that company and that money and I invested it in myself. Okay. On October 8th, just a couple of weeks ago, the stock was trading at $8.42 a share. So when you do the math on that, my total stock in the agent equity program, it was $56,035, the value of that. So you subtract what I paid, I am $43,536.09 up just on that program right there. Is that exciting or is that exciting?
That's huge. Love it. Huge.
So we talk about a $16,000 cap, but as you can see, that definitely pays my cap for a lot of years, you know. So anyway, if I were with if I were still capping, which I'm not anymore because when my rev share hit $500,000 a year, I stopped actively selling real estate. But if I were to be a capping agent still, that would pay my cap for over 2.5 years. So when we talk about a $16,000 cap, you got to remember there's a lot more to our program, right? So the company, in addition to that, the company has given me 12,022 shares of stock. Now, most of that has not vested yet. So on October 8th, again, the stock was trading at $8.42 a share. The value of the stock that the company has given me is over $101,000. Fully vested so far, about 40,000 of that. And they gave me stock for the stuff that I was going to do anyway, like close deals and attract agents, just like Pat Hayes said. I'd say that $40,000 is a lot better than $40,000 worth of Starbucks gift cards. Don't you agree?
That's right. Amen.
So total cashable stock as on October 8th was $96,871. Now I invested $12,498 of that. So I'm up $84,373, which will buy you a fully decked out Mercedes E-Class and you can pay cash for it. So I would say that's a pretty good deal. Don't you guys agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And again, just like we talked about at the beginning, my earnings are not necessarily representative of the income that somebody else can earn. I'm just telling you the historical experience that I've had with this groundbreaking, amazing, life-changing company. So revenue share. So to talk about revenue share, I'm going to bring on Mr. Dagna. And Dave, why don't you talk, Dave, a little bit of background again. Dave is my sweetie here. He's been licensed since 1985. He was a huge Keller Williams team leader for many, many years. In 7 years, relaunched 7 real estate offices. And he's got a great story about what happened when he joined EXP. So Dave, you want to talk a little bit about RevShare, and then Pat Hayes, we'll let you tell a little bit about your story as well.
You bet.
All right, fantastic. Yeah, so, I was really, really happy doing what I was doing before for the previous brokerage, and really wasn't looking for a change. In fact, the first phone call that I got, I said, thank you, but I'm flattered, but I'm not interested. And the conversation lasted maybe 2 minutes. I was fortunate enough to get another phone call 6 months later, and Jason did a really good job getting me to at least commit to 15 minutes to look into it. And the 15 minutes turned into 2.5 hours. And I actually resigned the next day. So being at the old company, they have a system called Profit Share. And I was really excited about that, really a game changer in the industry. And so I worked that program pretty hard during my 7 years there. And I did fairly well. The last list that I saw that had me on there, they took the vested retired people off, but the last list that I saw is in the top 1,000 earners for lifetime earnings with that company. And all I can say is after 6.5 years here, my monthly checks average about 15 times more than what those vested retired checks are from the previous company. So it's just really amazing to have a system where I can have business partners, pour into them, teach them what I know, help them along the way, and really build a company within a company and get paid on that without any risk, and to be able to grow it across my state or all the states, multiple countries, and have no leases in my name or nothing that could be a downside, should the market shift or anything else. So it's all upside. And Pat, if you don't mind getting into the details about how it works a little bit, but the results are just absolutely fantastic for the people who are working it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great job, Dave. And I know congratulations on your success. And, I learned a lot from you too, Dave. And so, and so whenever I talk to the agents, I always just like to say, hey, does your current, a broker pay your mortgage payment or your car payment? You kind of look at me like you're crazy. Well, EXP is definitely paying all of ours. And so, just for doing what I was doing over there at that boutique brokerage firm, getting Starbucks gift cards, now I'm getting, large revenue share checks every single month. And so again, my numbers are, I've personally sponsored 37 agents to EXP in 47 months. So not even one agent a month that has turned into over 2,000 agents spanning the 43 states in 3 Canadian provinces. And so, I always tell the agents, hey, start with the low-hanging fruit. I wasn't a recruiter, at my boutique brokerage firm. I really didn't know exactly, the do's and the don'ts. And so I was just kind of attracting agents just from the agents that I knew. And so you can do that over here as well, too. You can actually, talk to like-minded individuals, start with the agents that you're closing deals with. You're building a great relationship with them over 30 days, 60 days, 90 days during that transaction. And then after the transaction's over, invite them to take a look at this, opportunity. And if they decide to join, you sponsor them and they get plugged into, all of our tools and all of our systems here, and they're a successful agent, which there's no reason why they can't be, and they shouldn't be, then the company is actually going to reward you up to $2,800 for every single agent on your first tier that actually caps. And so that's actually 3.5% of the gross commission for every single transaction that agent is doing, up to $2,800 that the company is going to pay out. So again, the agent doesn't pay out the revenue share. The agent pays in the 20% with our 80-20 split. And then from that transaction, depending on what the dollar amount is, that transaction is 3.5% of the gross commission, again, up to the $2,800. And again, that's every single year. It's not just a one-time deal. It's every single year that agent is here at EXP selling real estate that you attracted and brought them over to EXP. But it also gets better than that. And so the agents that want to do exactly what we're doing, and so the agents that I personally sponsor, they say, well, Pat, I want to do what you're doing. And Glenn Sanford built a beautiful business model that if I help out my agents be successful with agent attraction and spend my time, to help them be successful, well, the company's going to pay me more. The company's going to actually pay me up to $3,200 for every capping agent that falls on my second tier. whenever I help out my agents on my first tier. So, again, this is every single year, and it goes down actually 7 tiers. And so, there we go. There. So you can see that right there. So each tier has a different percentage of the gross commission that is paid out. And then we have personal qualifying agents needed to unlock those different tiers. And so you can see I've personally sponsored 37 agents. So I've unlocked tiers 1 through 6 now. And it's in my best interest to get to 40 as soon as possible, because I now have over 175 agents that are on my 7th tier that I'm actually not getting paid the full amount of the revenue share. And it's starting to add up, and it's a lot of money. And so it's my best interest to get out there and definitely share the opportunity, which I am, to unlock that 7th level. But very rewarding. And there's a lot of agents making an extra few $1,000s a month. There's a lot of agents making 10, 15,000 plus a month or more. And so I can say that I've made over $1 million in revenue share since I've been here the last 47 months. And this year is going to be a record-breaking year as well too for me in the revenue share. You can do it as well too. Just start small. But you know what? It's definitely a great program, and agents are having a lot of fun with it, because 1, they get to help grow the company that they're a shareholder of, and then also for 2, they get to kind of create another stream of income in their real estate business.
Yeah. Exciting business model, that is for sure. So before we bring on Mr. Bob Mangold, I would like to ask Mr. Tom Trong to tell us a little bit about his experience. So Mr. Tom, let me make you a co-host here. There we go. Okay, Tom, can you hear us?
Sure, I can.
So a little bit of background about Mr. Tom Trong. Tom is one of the most influential real estate agents in the entire industry. He is, just as of this week, the most recent past president of the Asian Real Estate Association of America, which is the largest trade organization in our entire industry. He really has had more of an impact on more real estate agents than maybe anybody that I've ever had the opportunity to meet, and it comes from a place of absolute servant leadership. He is inspiring in every possible sense of the word. So Mr. Tom, would you like to tell us a little bit about your beautiful experience here?
Sure, Tracy. Thanks for asking me to jump on. So we're not quite done with the presentation yet, but so far, if you've been paying attention for the past 50 minutes or so, what you've seen is a real estate model that is revolutionizing this industry. When I saw this model 22 short months ago, shown by Traci Lewis, of course, I really wasn't looking. I wasn't looking at all. I was extremely happy with my business. I was extremely happy with my real estate investments and life in general. And when I saw this opportunity, it really turned my world upside down. All right. And how my world got upside down is I realized very quickly that the old way of doing business is old, is outdated. And if I did not grab on to a revolutionary concept, and then I would be left behind. Today, when I joined, there were 6,000 agents, and today we've got about 23,000 agents and growing. And when you think about 23,000 agents, it's a pretty large number. It's still just under 2% of the realtors here in the United States. So we're still at the ground floor opportunity. And when you have the smartest of the 2% voting with their feet by making a bold move, by making a switch to this model, you'll see many reasons why. For me, Tracy, it is leads, unlimited lead generation tools, system training, support for agents to do what they need to do to really double, triple their real estate income and not have the excuse of not getting money in the way of getting leads, because it won't cost you any leads. Number 2 is all the support training and systems that we have, more than any agent can humanly handle, whether you are a newbie or whether you're an experienced team leader or you're a 4 or 5 person office, broker owner still struggling to really make ends meet. This program has it for you. And then of course the ownership piece. Why are we building someone else's brokerage? We run around day after day, year after year as real estate agents, helping people buy houses. Yet the majority of us rent our real estate agency. So why are we teaching to buy when we are renting? So in this model, it allows all of us to own our agency and to build it together. As you can see here, 30 plus agents are collaborating with one another to help grow this company, because the bigger we grow, the bigger our stock value is and the better we all are better off. 50 agents or so are joining this company a day, I figured out recently, right? And when you take a deep dive and you learn about this model, there's no reason why, other than your ego, that you wouldn't join. I just, if you're really open-minded, you've got to really peel back this onion and ask for yourself where you are in your business and where you can be, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, where is your real estate business? On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you in terms of being able to give as much time to your family, to your friends, to your communities, to your nonprofit, to your church, your temple, that you want to give? On a scale of 1 to 10, are you making all the money and you want to in the world? Does money run out before the end of the month? And this model that Traci and Pat and Dave and these guys are sharing with you gives you all those answers. All right. If this is your first time seeing this opportunity, I'll close with this, Traci. If this is your first time seeing this opportunity, you've got to thank the person who invited you here. You know why? Because I wish that Mark Zuckerberg gave me that phone call when he invited 5 people to his dorm room to check out this cloud-based company called the Facebook. I wish that Steve Jobs called me and I was on his short list when he came up with this concept called Apple. And I wish that Jeff Bezos gave me a call and says, hey, Tom, we're going to put the bookstores out of business and taking this business off the bricks and mortars and putting it online. And there was the beginning of Amazon. And I wish Reed Hastings from Netflix gave me a call and says, Tom, Blockbusters are going to be gone. We have a better program that's cloud-based where we can basically deliver movies and shows and music and everything to consumers without having to make them hop in the car and go on a Friday night to pick up a video and a movie and have to rush all the way back. Ladies and gentlemen, you're getting that call right now sitting here at 2:57 p.m. East Coast time. What you do with that call and that opportunity is up to you.
Great job, Mr. Trong.
Good job, Tom. Yes, good job, bud.
So, Mr. Hayes, would you be kind enough to introduce our next co-host, Mr. Bob Mangold?
Absolutely. Well, whenever I was in my first year in business, I actually came across some of Bob's systems, and I really liked what he was offering, and actually hired him to be kind of a mentor and a real estate coach in regards to the lead generation side of the business. And he helped me take my business from 3.2 million to 12.5 million my second year in regards to all of the systems. So we started building a great relationship. And, I knew that he had a ton of real estate sales experience. He used to own 2 exit franchises. He was a lender for many of years and just had a huge database of realtors. And so whenever I joined EXP, he was actually one of my first phone calls that I made to him, letting him know that I left my boutique brokerage firm and joined EXP. And he said, hey, what's so funny is I've heard of EXP. Some agent called me 2 years ago to, want to share EXP with me, but he actually never followed back up with me until you called. And I literally talked to him for about 5 minutes, and it was one of the easiest conversations to share with Bob about EXP. And so what he's doing is absolutely unbelievable. His knowledge of generating leads, his knowledge of growing a revenue share organization is truly unbelievable. So without further ado, my good friend Bob Mangold.
Checks in the mail, Pat.
Nice job. I love it.
So here's the question that I have for every agent. Like, what are you doing every day that installs leverage into your business? I mean, this is what we do every day with real estate clients, right? We help them buy a house. They put whatever, 3, 5, 10, 20% down, and they control an asset worth a whole bunch more. So we help our clients build leverage, but we're not doing anything to build leverage for ourselves. And so back in the day, I had a pretty successful real estate team, and I thought it'd be, hey, wouldn't it be a great idea to take and buy a couple exit realty franchises, spent over $1 million between the franchises and the tenant improvements and all that, had really nice offices, had $116,000 a month in overhead, had 188 real estate agents, went from making a tremendously good living selling real estate, working about 30 hours a week, to working about 100 hours a week, to net about $20,000 a year. And I knew at the time, it's like, okay, well, that wasn't the way for me to build leverage. The original idea was to, hire a lot of agents and then, take a certain split, and hey, I'd have a great, income and I wouldn't have to worry about it. It doesn't work that way. What I found out is they call brokers for a reason. So if you're on this call and you're hesitant to talk to somebody who owns a real estate company, just so you understand, they're really in two phases. They're either in one of two places. Either A, they're convinced that they're still going to be able to take and break out and be able to build this thing and sell it for $1 gazillion, which is never going to happen. Or they realized that that's not going to happen. That's when you want to talk to them. So don't be offended if in the beginning you start talking to somebody who owned a company that, hey, they're not open to listen yet. They just haven't gotten there. Just stay with them, be their friend, hang out, help them in any way you can, because at some point they're going to come to that conclusion, right? So it didn't take me very long. Fortunately, I owned a mortgage company, which is what provided the cash flow because it wasn't coming from the real estate side of the business, right? So when Pat called me up and kind of went through the EXP model, well, to me, it was very simple. It's a math equation for me. I was paying a real estate broker $65,000 a year because I wasn't a broker, and I could move to EXP, and for $16,000, assuming I was producing, instead of paying a broker $65,000, I could pay $16,000. Well, I don't have to be that bright of a guy to figure out, hey, I'm ahead. B, I don't have to be the one doing the training. C, I don't have the liability. D, I'm not the one buying the E&O that everybody's out there putting me at risk, right? And so for the cost of $16,000, I could bring in a company that would allow me to take and build my own branch, if you will, or my own company inside of a company. So for example, currently Pat has a group of a real estate company inside of EXP in excess of 2,000 agents. Traci, you're, 4,000 or 5,000 agents, right? To give you some context, guys, that's bigger than some of the name brand franchises that are out there. And I'm going to name some names and I might be off on the numbers or whatever, but the John L. Scotts, the Weichert Realties and things like that. You just need to understand that Pat and Traci have a bigger real estate company that's being managed by EXP for 16 grand a year, assuming they're producing. Traci told you she's not producing, so she's not even paying the $16,000. And she's able to take and build a company of thousands and thousands of agents inside of EXP. She's not the broker. She's not the trainer. It's not her liability on the line, right? It's none of that. And yet she's able to take and build a company inside of a company. That's what EXP is to me. And so I have the ability to take and leverage myself. Oh, and here's the cool part. I don't have to spend all that money to do it. I don't have to spend all that time to do it. I just have to talk to real estate agents. Now, when I talk to them, it's a fairly simple conversation. I just go, hey, Traci, do you actually have a real estate job or do you have a real estate business? And the way you can tell the difference is if you stopped working right now, 30 days from now, where would you be financially? 60 days, where would you be financially? And if your answer is, well, I'd be up the creek, well, it means you have a real estate job. What I do is I help agents build real estate businesses, meaning that they have the ability to stop working and the income actually comes in. And so I can tell you a year ago today, I actually thought I would put that to practice. And let's see, how did that really work? So it was actually about 2 weeks before I actually was severely injured. So 2 weeks ago, a year ago today, I was laying in a physical rehab hospital, unable to walk and virtually unable to move. Here's the cool part. All of my medical expenses were paid in the first 8 days I was in the hospital because I built leverage into a business and that I had whatever number of agents in my real estate branch inside of EXP that were out there closing deals while I was severely I was bedridden. There's no nice way of saying it. I wasn't able to walk. And so I had to relearn how to walk. Here's the cool part. The first day that I had to start physical therapy, all they wanted me to do was try and lift my leg, whatever I could lift. It didn't matter, not an inch, not a foot. If you could get it off the ground, we would be thrilled. It was the most excruciating pain I had ever been. I'm laying on this bed going, my God, what did I do that deserved that this should come to pass? And I go back to my room and I go into EXP Enterprise. And from the time I started physical therapy till the time I got back, it was the largest day in revenue share increase ever in those couple 3 hours. And I'm sitting there, okay, I got that message, build this. So when I tell you I put this to practice to say, hey, how did that work? That's what happens, folks. And so really the way that I look at it, it's really an insurance plan, if you will, for your family that, listen, bad stuff happens to good people all day long. By building leverage into your business and creating a real estate business instead of a real estate job, you provide peace of mind for yourself. You provide financial stability for yourself, right? Number one cause of divorce, money. Number one cause of sleepless nights, money. And at the end of the day, I can build leverage into my life so that I could sit here. You can see me now in my little video room here in Prescott, Arizona, wearing my EXP t-shirt, talking to people. And after this call today, I have 7 more calls with agents to talk to them about starting to build a real estate business. I'm not recruiting them. I'm going to talk to them about how they can build leverage into their business so that they can have that safety and security, both financially and peace of mind, to be able to take and do that. That's all this is. I don't recruit anybody. I don't actually even like that word. I just talk to agents. It's a math equation for me. And so at the end of the day, if I can show you how to take and build more leverage into your life, doing exactly what you're doing right now, right? You're just closing real estate deals. If I can help you build leverage from every one of those transactions so that it pays you for years up to and including a family legacy. My goal is to build this for my 23-year-old son because, well, we have a model to be able to take and do this. I literally have a 23-year-old kid that's building his own real estate business inside of the EXP real estate platform. And if you know any place else that you can do that, as Pat always says, well, I'm open to listen. Bring me that model.
Yep. Yep. No, and Bob, that's an amazing testimonial and so powerful. And I share that all the time with agents. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that, but you know what? That could happen to any one of us. It could happen to any realtor out there that's not with EXP. And if that ever happened to a realtor, not with EXP, I'm sure their business would go down because a lot of agents live closing to closing, transaction to transaction, and they don't have a huge nest egg saved up. And if they can't sell real estate for 6 months or longer, then they're probably out of business. But how awesome that you had the revenue share to come in month after month after month after month for the whole entire time while you're in rehab is truly amazing. And that's such a touching testimonial because I know how difficult it was for you, and I know that you had a very bad fall. But if it wasn't without the rev share, it would have been hard. And you're a true testimonial, and I'm so glad to be in business with you.
So yeah, no, I'm still glad I'm here. So
yeah,
just
me too.
Don't go up on a roof in a rainstorm, yeah. Okay, and you can avoid all that.
So don't do what Bob did. Yeah.
Anybody who tells you that, hey, that Bob guy's really smart, yeah, it's not true.
Yeah.
Anyway, the cool part was though, so the first month I was in the trauma hospital, right? The income went up 71%, yet I was 100% bedridden.
Wow.
And the income went up 71%. I defy anybody working any kind of job to have their income go up 71%. Right. And they're 100% bedridden, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Most likely they're going to get fired from their job.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And so that's the power of this. And really, folks, what I try and do now is I try and help agents understand that you have to build leverage into your life if you ever want to get free in terms of time, right? In terms of all the headaches. And if all I have to do is teach you to do a few things, teach you to ask a few questions as you're closing real estate transactions, could you do that? So when people go, oh, Pat, I can't recruit. Oh, sweet. I don't want you to recruit, Pat. That works out so cool. If I could just teach you to ask a couple of questions at the closing table to the other agent, could I teach you to ask a couple of questions? They go, well, yeah, great. So I'll teach you that. And then you ask them, and then I'll take over from there. Does that work for you?
Absolutely.
And that's how it works.
Yeah, so easy.
And so that's really all it comes down to, folks. And so the better you get at asking the questions, the more money you'll make and the easier it becomes. So I know everybody's going to always ask, okay, well, what are the questions? So back in the day, like Pat, when he called me, goes, hey, ever heard of EXP Realty? Well, that was easy. Nobody had ever heard of us then. Yeah. Cool part now, it's actually easier to bring agents aboard than it ever was because now people know who we are. So they come up to you at events and go, hey, I see you're with EXP. We have another agent coming on that came up to us at an event. But to simply ask a couple of quick questions, right? Hey, Pat, let me ask you a real quick question, man. You're a really sharp agent, and I'm going to make an assumption. Tell me if it's true or not. do you have a real estate job or do you have a real estate business? And I mean,
Real
by
estate job.
job, what I mean is like you have to keep working working, and your next deal is going to be what's going to pay those bills. Is that kind of sound like what your business is built like right now?
Yep.
So if I could actually help teach you to build a business where, I don't know, let's call it 80% of your income in the next 2 to 5 years would come from referral fees and 20% would come from your closings, would you want to sit down and talk to me?
Absolutely.
Right? And so if we understand, folks, what revenue share is, you have to have a real estate license, so it's a referral fee, right? And so another one that I do, like I'll go to an open house, just do a quick tour or whatever. Hey, Pat, good luck today. You know what? Hopefully you get a lot of traffic and stuff. And I'll like head towards the door, and then I'll come back and I'll go, oh, Pat, I'm sorry. Do you have a card? I mean, do you ever accept referrals?
Sure.
Well, what agent says no to that, right?
Right.
They go,
Right.
oh, sweet. You know what? My team is just like, business is going crazy. I mean, I've got a team in 34 states, over 400 agents, and sometimes we can't even handle the business here in Phoenix. Like, how much of your business are you closing every year from referral?
Oh, I'd say maybe 5%.
So here's the cool part. I don't care if they want to brag and they're full of BS. Well, I closed 50 deals last year from referrals. Oh, Pat, that's awesome, man. Hey, last month I got 203 referral fees in the month of October.
Wow. What? I want to know more.
So if you want to, you know what, I'm busy right now. I'm teaching a class in a couple of weeks. You want me to invite you?
Sure.
Great. Give me your card. I'll shoot you over an email when I have that. I'll text you when I've got the event scheduled. Okay.
Love it. That's powerful.
All you got to do, guys, ask the right questions. And so you may not have 203 referral fees, and yours, I don't know, you probably what, 700-800, right, Pat?
Yeah, it was actually $7.99. Yeah, $7.99 this month.
Yeah, so Pat's got 800. We had, I don't know, 203, 205, whatever. Well, what if you don't have those? Oh, you know what? My coach is going to be teaching a class on how he had 203 or 799 or whatever the number is referral fees, and he's helping me build my business in the same manner. And I don't know if he'd be open to teach you or not, Pat, but if I could get you a seat, like if I could convince him to let somebody from the outside come in, would you come if I could get you a seat?
Absolutely.
All right, let me see what I can do.
Love it.
I'm doing a class, no. The less said, the better. How many of you guys could spend a Saturday, if you're not out showing houses, that you could go and hit 5, 6, 7 open houses and talk to agents?
Yep.
When you're closing transactions, you have agents to talk to. Couldn't you ask them that? So your ability to attract those agents will come from the power of your questions and the way that you approach things. And so that's just some easy ways to take and go out and do that stuff right now.
Yep. No,
it doesn't even have to be you.
I know it. And Tracy, I unmuted you. So what do you think about that? I mean, Bob's just a wealth of knowledge, and he definitely really thinks outside the box. And a lot of realtors are afraid of doing the agent attraction and building the revenue share. But if you keep it so simple and make it simple, but leverage other people, just be a professional inviter and just let them hear the presentation, and then get them on the phone with another agent that's successful. Do a 3-way phone call. It's so simple, but yet the agents are a little scared and timid to do that.
Yeah, and that's okay. As we all know, a lot of agents aren't really focused on agent attraction. There's EXP brings to the table. I'm curious, Bob, when you're talking to agents that are still looking at this model, haven't made the decision to come on board, what are some of the objections that you hear over and over again?
Probably number one, I'm happy where I'm at, or I'm not looking to make a change.
Sure,
right? So I'm happy where I'm at. Hey, Tracy, that's awesome. Could I ask you kind of a personal question though?
Sure.
Why aren't you ecstatic? Like, why aren't you like waking up in the morning, pinching yourself in the arm and going, oh my God, I am so ecstatic to be where I'm at. Like, why aren't you like that?
Well, Bob, I do a lot of production, and I got a lot of buyer's agents and a staff to take care of. And, truthfully, I'm very grateful to be busy. I really am, but I'm exhausted.
So you basically have a real estate job is the way that I define it. Even though you have a team, you've kind of leveraged yourself. But here's the cool things I've learned over the years, Tracy. The Uber producers are the ones who struggle the most with building leverage into their business. I mean, if I could help you build a career or build a real estate business where 80% of your revenue was coming in from, say, referral fees, and maybe 20% of it was from your production, would that give you a little bit better lifestyle?
Well, if I could replace my income from, from actively selling, yeah, of course.
Awesome. Well,
I'd look 10 years younger.
yeah. So, well, why don't we sit down and just talk about how you may be able to do that? And they go, well, that mean I'd have to move to EXP. It's like, no, that doesn't mean anything. I have a lot of structures and systems to be able to build leverage. I mean, it's easy enough to do. But what I would tell you, Tracy, is, you're in the business to make money, right? So don't you kind of look at where can I go to make the most amount of money with the least amount of effort?
Well, yeah, but I'm at 100% company. I keep all of my money. I'm 100%.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Could I ask you another personal question? Why so low?
Oh, well, I got a really great deal. I negotiated a great deal when I came over from XYZ company to Cut Rate Realty over here. I got a great deal.
So define a great deal for me.
Oh, well, I pay $399 a transaction, and errors and omission, and a $50 desk fee, and that's it. I keep 100% of my money.
Wow, I'm really sorry to hear that, Tracy. And then just be quiet. Don't answer that, right? Because they're going to look at you like, okay, what planet are you from, dude? Right? So don't answer that. And, well, what do you mean you're sorry? Well, my question is, why aren't you getting paid by your broker? I mean, think about it this way, Tracy. You're a good producer. You've got a bunch of real estate signs out, right? You pass out your business card. All your social media pages are Tracy at whatever real estate company. So you're building the branding of this company, and you have to pay somebody to do that. Like if you worked in the corporate world, they pay you a salary to help them build a brand. Yet in real estate, we have to pay somebody to do that. Well, what if you could get paid to do it instead of paying somebody? That would certainly be a better proposition for you, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
So let's do this. Let's call your broker. Do me a favor. Get him on the phone now. Get her on the phone, whatever it is. And let's ask them if, let's start small. Let's say, would you start paying all of Tracy's marketing expenses for her? What do you think that broker is going to tell you?
No.
No. Well, how about if we start making Tracy's car payment?
In my wildest fantasy, they're not.
How about if we start making Tracy's mortgage payment?
They're definitely not going to do that.
And so if there was a way that your broker would do that and they could pay all that for you, you would certainly want them to do it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course.
Well, if you can't do it where you're at, then let's talk about where you could have that done for you, okay?
Brilliant. Brilliant. So hey, all you guys on the webinar here, what other questions do you have? And those of us that are already with the XP, what are some concerns that agents bring up to you whenever they are considering looking at this brilliant business model? And let's see if we can actually stunt Bob Mangold. Hasn't happened yet, but So
yeah, usually when I do it live, it's the bet is if you can stump me, I'll buy you a drink. If not, you got to buy me a drink. Good. Never had to buy a drink yet.
Yeah, I've bought a lot of drinks.
So. But here's the cool part. A lot of it's getting easier, folks, because back in the old days, right, and for those of us that have been around, well, I've never heard of it. It's too small. It's not going to be viable. It's not going to be this. It's not going to be that. Well, we've been around 10 years now. We have 23,000 agents. A lot of that's going away, right? If you look at Tracy's post on Facebook the other day, I actually grabbed that. Somebody was messing around with Brian Colhane, and I just couldn't. Typically, I don't respond to anything on Facebook, but all these idiotic comments were on there about, well, when EXP's profitable, let me know. So that's another big one that we get. And so the easiest way to just shut almost anybody up is I just go, well, Pat, we file a 10K every quarter with the SEC. We're required to by law because we're publicly traded. Which line on the 10K did you see that we lost money on?
Oh, goodness, I don't recall, but I do remember it was negative.
So which lines are most important to you on a 10K?
The bottom line, the profit and loss.
Okay, so do you understand how it's handled on a publicly traded company?
No, not really.
So, and this is where I'm going to love what Gene, did in Vegas. It was like, well, Pat, what it really sounds like to me is that you're talking to somebody, and like if you were going to buy a Tesla, would you go into a Ford dealership and say, hey, Pat, tell me about a Tesla?
No.
So it sounds to me like you've been talking to somebody else at another company who has no idea even what a 10K is.
Yes.
So here's the easiest question I can ask for you. If you looked at that, well, the number one business, like even in your business, for you, it's how much money you have in the bank, right? How much cash you have on hand.
Right.
But here's a question for you. If we were losing money, if you look at over the last 2 years, each quarter we put more money in the bank. Now, we've never borrowed any money. So if we were losing money and we aren't borrowing money, how could we possibly put more money in the bank?
I guess by being profitable.
So somebody's giving you bad info, right?
Yep.
See, the reason that happens is that because we do something that no other real estate company on the planet does. We actually give our agents stock. We allow them to buy the stock at a 20% discount, and that has to be accounted like we wrote a check, like it was an expense. Here's the good news, Pat. We didn't write a check like it was an expense, but we have to show it that way. It's called GAAP accounting. GAAP, Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. And so when we agreed to be uplisted on NASDAQ, we had to agree to follow their rules, and so that's how we show that. But if you actually look at our cash on hand, we have more money in the bank this quarter than we did last quarter, yet we didn't borrow it. If we were losing money, that couldn't happen, could it?
Right. Wow.
So here's what happens, folks. All you got to know is just those couple things, like where's it at on the 10K and GAAP accounting, right? So go back to the little thing. It's written there in case you forget it, because you just sound smart as all get out.
Right.
Right? And they're going, 10K, oh my gosh, I don't know what that is.
Yeah. GAAP accounting. What is that?
Oh my gosh.
You're smart.
Right. And so that's all you do. You just break that down really, really quickly. So it's an easy one to do.
That's awesome.
So most of the agents, they get 100% of the commission or just paying a transaction fee. They don't see the big picture of this wonderful model. So guys, here's the thing. So that's kind of an important thing. They don't see the big picture, but you can't tell them the big picture. You have to ask your way to the big picture. So one of the things that I tell everybody is, number one, you have to understand a compensation plan backwards and forwards. The next thing you have to do is you have to learn to ask questions and then be quiet. Right? So when I said to Traci, whatever it was on the 100%, oh, why so low? Well, you want to bail it out because it becomes uncomfortable. You just have to learn to just sit there and be quiet and let her answer. And so it still comes down to the fact, it's like, well, Pat, it still sounds like you have a real estate job. And if you have a job, that means the minute you stop working, you stop earning. If you had a way where you could earn without having to do the work, I mean, you could get rewarded over and over again for doing the work you did 2 or 3 years ago. Well, that would be better for you, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Right. And it's also in how you ask the question, right? So I can make this whole statement and then I can end it where, well, that would be better for you, wouldn't it? Well, he would sound like a complete nutbag if he said no. So when you get good at learning how to ask the questions where they'd be nuts to answer it, even though every fiber of their being wants to say, I don't want to do it. But you ask the question in such a way that they'd be crazy to answer it that way.
Right.
And so 100% just isn't good enough anymore. And so I know everybody thinks I'm joking because everybody laughs at it, but I'm not kidding. Well, why so low?
Right. It's so true.
Could you and I even calculate what your commission split is on your revenue share minus the $16,000? I mean, I don't even think I could do the math on that.
I know. I would love to try and do it though with you. Let's do it.
So cool. So here's a good one. I've had a few agents say they only work in the luxury market, so they need to be with a luxury West well-known brokerage. And I just go, well, Pat, man, I'm really sorry to hear that, man. What it tells me is that over the years, whoever's been your coach and your guru and your mentor had you build your business in the wrong way. If people are hiring you because your business is built because of the company you work for, you're kind of a captive agent, aren't you? Which means your broker can make you pay whatever it is that they want because you in your mind believe you're captive. Why don't we sit down and create some strategies for you to take and build the brand of Pat Hayes and not Hilton and Highland or whatever? Because the truth is, folks, most times they're just that in their own mind. They're hiring you because of you. And if you're building your business because of your company, and that goes down up to and including EXP, nobody cares who we work for. Right. They care about what you're going to do to sell the house. But you will hear that. You just have to be able to answer it. and say, well, what if we could sit down and talk about some ways where we can do that? Now, maybe you're not in a position to do that, but I promise you, Tracy, Dave, Pat, Tom, myself, somebody can help you with that. I promise.
Yep.
So you got to reach out because, oh, that's right. For you, this is leverage to help you build your business. Well, you can leverage all of us, right? So that's a good one. I'm just kind of going through some of these. I'm in Flagstaff. I want to attract a team. Oh, I'm sitting here right now in Prescott, Arizona, so I'm about an hour away from you.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, I got one for you. I think it was there in the comments. Well, I hear all it is a pyramid scheme.
Really? Well, what makes you say that, Pat?
Well, I guess everybody's doing this recruiting and you build these levels and it's off of this revenue share and this and that. And it just kind of seems like one of those multi-level marketing pyramid schemes.
Huh. So at the company you're at right now, they hire agents, don't they?
Yes.
So who gets paid that money when they hire them? Is it kind of like the broker, the owner, or maybe there's a recruiter that you have on site?
Yeah, both.
Huh. So they're using recruiting to build their business, and then they're paying somebody else. Well, how many times have you ever referred an agent to the company? Did you get paid for that?
No, all I got was a little Starbucks gift card.
Well, why is it okay for them to pay somebody else but not you if you helped them grow?
I don't know. That's a good point.
And so shouldn't the agent be the one getting paid?
Yes.
Now, the truth of the matter is, folks, there's a couple different ways I'll answer that. They'll go, is it an MLM? I heard it's an MLM. I go, really? What would make you say that? And they go, well, the person at the top gets all the money. It's like, oh, sweet. It is an MLM then, because the person at the top does get all the money. Here's the cool part. You're at the top. Because we only get paid 7 tiers deep, so I don't really care where you came in. You're at the top. If you want to grow your business and help us recruit, you'll get compensated for it. If you don't, you just want to close transactions, use all the tools, get stock, and do that to build your wealth, cool, you can do that. But either way, you're at the top. So don't be afraid of that one.
That's good.
Now, another one that I'll ask is, well, how do you feel about MLM? Well, you'd be shocked, folks. Like 80% of real estate agents are in some kind of MLM. And they go, no, I'm good with it. Cool, then it's an MLM. They go, I hate MLM. Cool, it's not an MLM.
Yeah.
Right? So just ask the question. But understand, I'll go, oh, well, it's a scam. Really? Well, how many scams do you know that has to file public paperwork every quarter? And in order to get uplisted on the NASDAQ, like NASDAQ would let companies pull in scams. Like how many companies you think are uploaded on NASDAQ that are scams? Like how many, like give me a number.
0.
Well, then how could we be a scam? And that's where I love that one Gene did in Vegas. It's like, Pat, it sounds like you've been shopping for a Tesla at the Ford dealership, brother. You're getting a lot of bad information, man. Hey, why don't we sit down and let's get you the right information? Because listen, I don't care what you do, Pat. You got to do what's best for you and your family. But in order to do that, you have to know the facts and you have to know the reality of it. So why don't we do that? And then at that point, I'll ask you to, hey, make a decision. Whatever you do, I'm gonna respect and honor. Fair enough?
That's great. Absolutely.
Quit pushing them. So I think I heard this from Rob. If not, I'm going to give him the credit for it. So he said, amateurs convince, pros sort. So be a sorter. Listen, if I have to beg, borrow, and steal with you to get you to come aboard, you're only going to be aboard and you're going to leave in a few months. Talk to the ones who are excited. Your job is to sort, right? The event that I did in San Antonio, I had the one agent come up on stage and she acted all crazy, whatever. Well, the truth is, I would have never answered her objection. I would just go, hey, Pat, it doesn't seem like you and I would be the right mix to work together. Best of luck. It's okay for us to say no.
Right.
Yep. And so, your every existence is, tomorrow the sun's still going to come up if an agent doesn't join.
That's right. We're looking for agents who are looking for us.
Right. And so I seen something from Tony Jerry last night in the magazine that we got from EXP. I thought it was a great tagline. We don't make winners. We just help them win more.
Oh, that's good.
Well, I kind of disagree. I think we actually can make winners, but we can help them win more. That's really who we're looking for, folks.
Right.
Sort. If they're not the right person, if they're not doing production, if they're not, like if you just would look at them and go, they don't mix with you personality-wise and you just hate working with them, then don't bring them aboard. They could still come to EXP. Just get them to somebody else. It's okay. There's plenty out there. We only have 23,000. I actually just seen it the other day. There are 2 million real estate agents in the United States. We only got 23,000. There's plenty to talk to.
Oh, yeah.
We're worried about the ones that say no. For me, I just look at it and say, wow. You know, imagine if they were me and they did something stupid and they got hurt like that. And they go, oh my gosh, I should have listened to Pat a year ago and I should have done this and built that. Guess what? It's too late. Well, guess what? Don't let it happen again.
Yep.
Because the funny part is we were in Long Beach. So once I was able to walk again, I think it was in March, I was in Long Beach. Jerry Stapp and I were meeting with a broker in Long Beach. I was walking across the street. This GMC Yukon was turning left, decided all of a sudden to turn left. How he didn't hit me, I have no idea, but he was probably doing 30, 40 miles an hour. I almost got hit again.
Jeez.
So guess what? Even if I would have missed the boat the first time, well, guess what? It's never too late to start and build it.
Yep.
You know, oh, I missed out. There's already so many agents. Well, there's not.
Yep.
23,000. There's a whole bunch more.
We're still in the garage, baby. We're still in the garage.
So what other ones? I'll let you guys kind of go through and see if anybody else wanted to stump.
Let's see. Somebody's
100%.
to come see you.
So here's how do you approach an agent in a market where EXP is not penetrated? Who cares if they penetrated? I look at that and go, oh my God, this is a gold mine.
Yeah.
I just go, hey, I'm looking to expand my team here. And I don't know if I'd pay you to hold your real estate license at EXP. Like if you could get paid to hold your real estate license as part of my team, would you want to have coffee? Or any of the other things? I mean, I have a million of them.
Yeah.
But just do the referral fees. Oh, cool. I'm looking for some agents to refer business to. You know, do you accept referrals? Oh, yeah. Sweet. How many, you know, like, is most of your business referral? Because how many agents do you talk to? You go, oh, all my business comes from a referral. And then you look up their production and you go, all 6 of those deals came from referrals, right? So, and then you go, or you get the guy who's going to just, well, I do 50, 60 transactions a year, all from referrals. Sweet. I did 203 last month.
That's awesome.
Right? So it's just a cool way to do that.
Yep.
Don't be afraid that you don't have market penetration.
Yeah. Yeah. Being first to market is huge. I mean, it was huge for me here in San Antonio. And so
yeah.
I'm glad that I was first to market here.
Look at all that. Just look at all that leverage you've built over the last few years, these lunch and learns. And I know you're doing a bunch of them. All those agents, most of those come in underneath you. You're getting paid on that.
That's right.
That's because they were first to market.
Right.
So it's not a downside. It's a plus. If they go, yeah, but I don't, you know, whatever. Company has the name. Oh, Pat, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. Whoever's coaching you, dude, I got to tell you, it's teaching you the wrong thing. Because if you're out there promoting your company in a listing presentation instead of what you do, dude, you're building your business the wrong way. Can we agree on that one?
Yep.
Yeah, but they have so many tools and whatever. It's like, yeah, but here's the cool part. So, you know, let's just think about Coldwell Banker a year ago. I think it was a year ago when they came out and they announced their earnings. Their CEO said that their goal in the next 12 months is to increase their income by decreasing, to increase the company income by lowering the splits on their agents, meaning that they're going to get they're not going to sell more homes, they're going to take more from the agent. Well, Pat, if you've built your whole business on that, and I'm sure that I have the article on that in my book of stuff. Well, if you were an agent at that company, and you've built your whole business on selling the company, and they come to you and they want to take money away from you, how are you going to feel about that?
Not good.
Well, they're not going to do that. It's like, well, no, they're telling you they're going to do it. I mean, the CFO or the CEO is announcing it when they're announcing earnings. I mean, they're the largest real estate company in the world. They have more agents under all their brands than anybody else. What makes you think you're going to be exempt? I mean, do you really trust leaving your income, your family's stability, everything in the hands of a company that could make that change on you at any time? I mean, I don't. How about you?
That's good.
If you learn to ask that with the passion, put the hands up to the chest and all that, right? Yeah. I'll rehearse stuff. So, if you guys can see that, right? So, but you got to ask this stuff with passion because everything I just said was true. I mean, hey, the Coldwell Banker, which is Realogy, they have more agents than anybody else, and the way that they're going to make more money is to cut the agent splits.
Terrible.
So pay attention to those things that come up.
That's right. Look at this, hour and a half in. We still have 24 on the webinar. Wow.
All right, Matthew, Ron. So Matthew thinks he's going to get me on one here. All right, Matthew, you owe me a case, dude, not just one drink. I love my culture and my tribe. I need the office. Oh, that's sweet. I still want you to love the culture and the tribe. So here's the cool part. If you're actually getting paid to hold your real estate license, why don't you start doing happy hours every week with them? And you can meet them once a week. Here's the cool part. Then you don't get sucked into the office and have people wasting all your time so that you can produce more and make more money. And you could do a happy hour, and you could do that with them every week and hang out once a week and have lots of fun and not even worry about business. Wouldn't that be a better way to run your business?
Let's see, where's Matthew? Let me unmute him real quick. Let me see here. There he is. All right, there's Matthew.
Hey.
Hey.
Listen, Bob, I knew you could handle that, but I just wanted to get your verbiage so I could write it down.
Yeah. It's like, all my friends are there. It's like, well, I still want them to be your friends. You know, here's another one. They go, I love my broker. I love my friends, all that stuff. Well, Matthew, like, how much do you love those friends? Or how much do you love your broker? Like if something happened to your broker and they came to you and said, hey, you know, I need some money. Like, do you love them that much that you'd help them out?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you can do that. Even though you're on camera, you can take the kid stuff. This is the beauty of what we do, right?
Well, yeah, I got a 1-year-old and a 7-year-old in this room.
I know. So cool. So that's the beauty of what we do, though, right? But what everybody's going to say is, oh, yeah, I absolutely would. Well, great. Why don't we schedule a coffee with your broker, your owner, and let's show them how we can take them out of their misery so that they can start rapidly producing more income out of their brokerage. Because if they were making more money, they would be happy, right?
Absolutely.
And they'd be eternally grateful to you, right? Now, I'm not going to get into any of this when I'm talking to the agent, but when I talk to the broker, it's like, hey, if I could get rid of your liability, if I could get rid of your overhead, I would take and pay you a percentage of the revenue. I don't need you to do any more training. I don't need you to be involved in any phase of the day-to-day running of your business anymore, and I'll pay you a percentage of the revenue, and my consulting fee is $16,000 a year. Would you consider hiring me?
Absolutely.
And that's my answer for brokers. And so when they go, oh, I love my broker, I love my friends. Well, if you really love your friends, then you want what's best for them, and what's best for them is to get them off the hamster wheel of having a real estate job and help them build a real estate business where they're not reliant on that income, this roller coaster income that realtors are on. Well, guess what? Even if it's $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month in income, well, guess what that does? And I'll never forget the first time that it hit me. I'll be honest, I'd been at EXP for whatever it was, 5 or 6 months. My rev share was $1,881. And I'll be honest with you, I was mad. I was not mad at EXP. I was mad at myself going, dude, you're smarter. You can do this faster, yada, yada, yada. And at the end of the day, I was literally bending down, putting chlorine tabs in my pool. And I'm going, wait a minute. My mortgage payment is $1,764 a month. My mortgage payment just got paid by EXP. And I started asking that question. Hey, Pat, is your broker paying your mortgage payment? And people look at you like you're from Mars.
Right.
You want to find out how? It was as hard as the questions have to be.
Yep.
But I knew from that point forward, I would never have a mortgage payment again.
Awesome.
Your income's directly proportional to the power of your questions.
So true. So true. Any other questions real quick for Bob?
Yeah, I'll take that one about the agent that has 5 months before vesting. So when I was introduced to EXP, I was introduced to EXP in August, right? And I held out for a trip to go to the EXP Con in Las Vegas to make my final decision. Well, I made the decision as soon as I saw the rev share, calculations. I knew that whether I wanted to leave Keller Williams or not, I had to, because it would be financially responsible to stay where I was. But I held out a little while longer, and plus I was going to be fully vested with Keller Williams on November 1st, right? So I waited August, September, October. I waited 3 months. And I figure waiting that, because I wanted to be fully vested, because, I was getting like $129 a month from Keller Williams after being a year globally. But I didn't want to lose that $129 a month. I figured that has cost me millions and millions of dollars waiting that 3 months. So that person thinking about getting vested for 5 months, man, if you want to connect to me or Dave, with that person on a private one-on-one webinar, we can definitely explain to them how they have lost their minds to wait.
And I have another story. It is not one of my agents. I was at one of Brent Go's events, and it was an agent from Tucson, and she had the same thing. And so she came to EXP, but maintained the cap, right? So she did the cap deferment. Well, because she did that, she didn't become an icon agent.
Yep.
Okay, so now at the time she did it, and I don't remember the exact dollar, but it was in the $2 a share range. So when I was having cocktails at this thing and we were talking on the couch, she goes, well, as I calculate it right now, that cost me about $800,000.
Wow.
Because she didn't want to take that cap hit.
Yep.
So, and honestly, it had never occurred to me to talk to somebody about that and say, hey, based on your production, if you'd become an icon agent, you're going to want to eat that cap deferment, get your $16,000 back in stock. Never occurred to me to do that, which is why I always tell everybody, you better understand this compensation plan backwards and forwards. And I didn't know that at the time. I was like, oh, thank God she tells me that.
I had the exact same thing happen, and when I joined the company, the stock was at 64 cents a share.
Yeah, so ooh, do the math now, huh?
That's part of it. Yep.
Yep. So pretty funny.
Yep.
All right. Well, you guys tell me however long you want to go. If there are more questions that I missed, I don't know.
Questions that the question about the office came up. Do you want to talk, Bob, about how EXP does not pay for offices, but how there's other solutions for that?
Yeah. So ultimately, people will say, well, I need an office. I go, sweet, we have one. And again, be quiet, right? So don't just like start spilling it out. Well, we have a virtual office. Well, so let's go past that and go, okay, well, no, you don't understand. I got little kids at home. I can't make my calls and stuff, so I need a space. Cool. Well, we got a couple different ways that we can address that. So we have a deal with Regis that you can go there and work. But let's even assume for a minute, Tracy, you need a private office. You just want to do it because you do. I don't know what that would cost in your market, $600-700. So here's the thing. That would have to come out of your current cash flow. So you probably don't love that, right? But can we agree that the office you have at whoever it is, Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, Century 21, well, that comes out of your current cash flow also, doesn't it? And they go, well, no, I don't pay for an office. It's like, well, actually you do, because you have this thing called a split. And so they pay for the expenses of the office out of your split. And one of the reasons it is whatever it is, 70, 30, 60, 40, it doesn't matter, helps pay for the office. Well, why don't we take and look at a system that we could take and help have EXP paying you so that it offsets the cost of that market by helping you build a real estate business instead of a real estate job, so that let's say 2 to 5 years from now, 80% of your income was coming from referral fees that EXP would pay you, and 20% would come from your closings. Would that work for you? Because here's the deal, guys. Most of them don't use the office. Those are what I call swataways. I'm 100%. I love my broker, my friends. I need an office, all that other stuff. If you ever doubt that they need an office, just go into any real estate company that has an office and see how many people are in there at any given day, at any given time. But it's what I call a swataway. They're just swatting away going, she'll fold on this, he'll fold on that. That'll be, how do you overcome 100%? Those are swataways. They're just like throwing something out to do it. That's where the power of the right questions comes into, where you don't allow that to swat away. And if you guys have ever seen Tony Robbins do this on stage, it's called pattern interrupt, right? He'll get this young lady, he'll come down, he'll get her to cry. Oh, tell me about your pain, right? And he'll take a glass of water and throw it in her face and be like, whoa, what the hell did you do, right? And I'm sorry, I had like a flinch. I worked out a lot the other day, whatever his excuse is. He gets her to cry again and does it again. It's called the pattern interrupt. All you're doing with your questions is doing a pattern interrupt. Well, I'm 100%. This person's thinking, oh, you can't beat that one, dog. And then you go, oh, gosh, Tracy, I'm sorry. Why so low, girl? You're like, what? You just did a pattern interrupt. And so if you can get your questions to the point where you're actually doing pattern interrupts, where they don't know what to say to that, and then you got them off guard, trust me, you're going to win more than you'll lose. And then you decide whether you want them or not.
Yep.
Brilliant. And I love the story that Brent Gove talks about how when he was with Keller Williams and they jacked up his rent, he started working out of Regis. And he 2 or 3 deals every month from his people that he was hanging out with at Regis, as
Right.
opposed to hanging out with, lower end real estate agents.
Right.
That were, hey, you got a minute? Can you help me out? How do I do a contract? So,
And the reality is, folks, and Pat's, living proof of it, because him and I've talked about it many, many times, and we share the story. When you're, like the top gun or in the top 3, 4, 5 guns in an office, everybody wants to come up to you and go, hey, Pat, you got a few minutes? I got a couple questions for you.
All the time.
All the time, right? Well, now that takes away from your production time, your family time, and everything else. Why do you want to be around that environment?
Right. I don't.
Right. And what an office really becomes is a safe haven to waste time to look at Facebook, and so that you can go home and tell your significant other, oh my God, it was grueling all day. I was on Facebook all day responding to people's posts. It's like, last time I checked, it's not how we get paid. We get paid to get listing agreements signed, buyer broker agreement signed, or bring an agent aboard. Those are the only 3 things we get paid for. Any place that distracts you from doing any of those 3 things, you're not in the right place. I need an office to meet my clients. Why? Just in case you don't know, take a survey of your clients. They don't want to come to your office. Why don't you go to their house where they're comfortable and put them in an environment where they're comfortable, which makes it easier for them to sign your paperwork?
Yep.
Quit thinking of you. Oh, this way you get to show them off your big fancy office. Guess what? Then I pull up in my Mercedes and I'm in my big fancy office and I'm going, holy crap, what are these people doing to screw me that they can afford all this stuff?
Right. They're getting paid too much.
They're getting paid too much.
Yep.
What are they doing? I don't want any of that. I want to take and build rapport where people are comfortable. We've been doing some things where we're getting listings signed on Zoom.
Wow.
On this. We don't even go meet them. So what do I need an office for? I got calls this afternoon with agents all over the United States. We're doing them on Zoom. Most of them. Why do I need an office to do that? I can sit here in my EXP t-shirt and sit in my comfy chair, and why do I need an office to do that? I've got one here.
And they can too. They can too. It doesn't take any time away from their family.
No. I have a pretty good sized group in California. And so I'm not really joking, because it's the honest to God's truth. If you guys ever spend any time in California, the traffic is a nightmare. Well, guess what? If you're stuck in your car, you can't be doing what I refer to as RPAs, revenue producing activities. You're not sitting there calling FSBOs. You're not sitting there calling expireds. You're not meeting agents, right? You may be able to talk to them. Well, every minute you sit in that car costs you money. Well, if I need to go into my office to turn in a file or meet with somebody in accounting, well, that takes me time. And the joke is everything in California is 20 minutes away, not in traffic. Well, no traffic is 3:01 to 3:07 a.m. in the morning, right? So everything is half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour away. Well, it's an hour away home and it's an hour away back. All I have to do is push a little button on my computer and I can get all that stuff done so that I can spend more time on revenue producing activities and time with my family than sitting in traffic.
Love it. So true.
And it is what it is, right?
I've been out there in California with you. Absolutely.
Actually you were with us when we went to meet that one agent. We went from the Inland Empire to Santa Monica. It literally, in non-traffic, is like 45 minutes away. It took us 3 hours. We were sitting in traffic on one of the freeways, and it said we had 6 miles to go, and it was 58 minutes. Well, the truth is it was wrong. It took us an hour and 20 minutes, and we were late for the appointment to go 6 miles.
Crazy.
All that time, guys, we're not making money.
Right.
And we just need to understand that. That's what the cloud to me is about. Leverage. It leverages my time. It's not, hey, it's cute and all these avatars. It's like, it gives me leverage. I can click a button to get something done, or I can get in my car, jump in the shower, get cleaned up, all that stuff, or I can click a button. Which one saves me more time? Because, well, last time I checked as real estate people, time is the only thing we can control, and our time is our money. So when I talk to people about the cloud or the virtual office, I'm not talking about how cool it is and isn't this cute and we got this. No. This is about time. Pat, you got choices, man. You can work smarter. You can work harder. Which one do you prefer?
Yep. Smarter.
Right. So they all go smarter. Well, great. The smarter way to do this is to be able to take and do this virtually so that you don't have to get dressed, sit in the shower, get stuck in the office. Somebody comes up to you. Hey, Pat, and I got a quick question for you. And before you know it, you just wasted 3 hours.
Yep.
Pat, would you rather spend 3 hours with your kids or 3 hours doing that?
With my kids.
So if there's a way to be able to take and build that into your business, doesn't it make sense that we explore that?
Absolutely.
Right. So notice how you keep asking those questions. Doesn't it make sense to explore that? So I just got him to say, no, I'd rather spend time with my kids. Yes, that's a better way to do it. So then you end it was like, well, doesn't it make sense to explore it? What's he going to say? No, yeah, I changed my mind. No, I don't want to see it. So you kind of box them in if you think of it that way.
Awesome.
So it was pretty cool stuff.
Good stuff. Very powerful.
So, other questions, or tell me when you want me to stop?
Yeah, I think that was it. I don't see any more questions there. Does anybody else have any other questions?
You know what? I'm going to have Dave come and respond to that question about KW ownership that somebody asked, that Tony asked, because he, of course, owned part of a KW Market Center, and so there's nobody on earth. Sorry, Shadow's being very defensive here. Shadow's saying, "Yeah, let Dave talk. Tell him everything."
Really, take me to the beach.
Help me out with the question. My battery
no
just died.
Okay, so if they have an ownership,
Gotcha. Okay,
there you
yeah.
go. That one from Tony Camilleri.
Yep. We have to understand the operating agreement of that market center, and they do vary. They can be 100% unique to each market center. So first of all, if someone is, so most franchisees, right, with the other brands, they are definitely hands-off because it would be tortious interference if you're talking to a RE/MAX owner who had another 3 years on their contract, and RE/MAX is expecting to get those fees every month. So that involves tortious interference. With KW, the equity position is transferable, right? An owner can sell the interest, and KW is not losing their royalties in that market center. So it's not so much hands-off. You can have a conversation. They just have to divest. Most operating agreements in KW have two payout calculations. One is if you're with the market center and you opt to sell, they're going to use this calculation. And if you leave, or if they ask you to leave, then they're going to use a different calculation. So I've seen $50,000 assets be paid out at $9,000 or $10,000 because they're using a different calculation because you said, I'm going to leave the market center and I need to sell my shares, and so now you get penalized, right? So it's not the true value of whatever you have for equity there. So it's not a hands-off thing. It's, have them see their attorney, go through the operating agreement and make a plan from there. Don't you give them their marching orders because you're not an attorney. You are not an expert at interpreting what those words mean on the operating agreement. But we most certainly can have the conversation with them. I have moved over many of them. I was an owner in a market center when I made the move over here, and I decided to come here in one day and not worry about selling my stuff. So I sold at a lower amount because I wanted to get here as fast as possible. Does that help?
Yeah, that helps. So I guess the only thing I'm confused that you're saying, what would have been the leaving and not leaving? So if they decide to come to EXP, you have to sell immediately.
Well, yeah. So if they say I'm leaving the market center and I want to sell my shares, they're getting the bad calculation. So what may happen, right? And so something that I could have done is I could have said, well, my intent is to come to EXP, but I need to sell my 10% of the market center, and I have to go through this process. It could take me several months. And so I could have done a letter of intent. I could have worked with my upline to, still have conversations with folks and move them over and have a placeholder while I was working out the sale of my equity, right? So there are different tactics and strategies where someone can still play by all the rules and get their fair share instead of taking a big penalty.
Perfect. I got it. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that.
Always happy to help Tony.
Okay, guys. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you guys so much for being here. All of our guests, please reach out to the person that invited you to this webinar. We are all here, of course, to answer your questions too. We work as one big happy team here at EXP. Many, many thanks to our awesome co-hosts, Mr. Pat Hayes and Mr. Dave Gagnon and Mr. Try to Stop Bob Mangold, but it's never going to happen. And I'm just honored and blessed beyond measure to be in business with you guys.
Awesome.
Traci, would it be possible to have this on Team Disruptor as a recorded?
100%.
This is awesome stuff. Great information today, man. Wow.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tony. Yeah, realtors get free with EXP. Tony, do you want to, our Pat, somebody want to talk a little bit about what's going to be happening in Motor City next month?
Yeah, I'll step up real quick. And yeah, guys, this is Pat Hayes here, and we are going to be hosting our second live event. It's called the Maximum Experience in close to Detroit next month, and I can actually send out some details in Team Disruptor as I did this morning. I can send it out again, send the link. But learn how to grow your revenue share organization the right way. And so we're going to actually map it down step by step, process by process, what to do, what not to do. And you're going to hear from the amazing Bob Mangold as well there too about how to handle the most common objections when it comes to agent attraction. I'm going to be talking about how to do a successful lunch and learn, how to build your list, how to expose them, how to do a 3-way phone call to build a massive revenue share organization. So I would love to have all of you guys there. Invite any agents. It's actually open to any and all EXP agents. It's not just Team Disruptor, but within the whole company. You have to be a current EXP agent to join us to learn how to grow your revenue share organization. We're going to have Dave Kennord there. We're going to have Sam Rodriguez there. Tracy's going to be speaking. Dave's going to be speaking. I'm going to be speaking. Bob Mangold. We've got Tom Trump, Tony Kimleri. It's going to be unbelievable. And so I'll send out a link in the Team Disruptor with all the information, and go ahead and get your tickets. We only have 160 seats, and so we're starting to promote the heck out of it. We're going to be shooting some videos and getting a lot of sponsors, having a lot of fun. But I would love to see everybody there next month in Detroit.
Yeah, great leadership on that. And you can go to makefriendswealthy.com for additional information. And then, of course, like Pat said, check the Team Disruptor Facebook groups, and all that information is there too. And
Let me go ahead and put the link in here real quick to everybody.
that Make Friends Wealthy takes them to the link, Pat.
Oh, that's okay. There you go.
Absolutely. I just could never remember the link, so I've just forwarded it.
There you go. There you go.
Well, listen, I'm so honored and blessed to be in business with y'all. Whatever we can ever do to help you out, let us know. And once again, it sounds like a whole bunch of us owe Bob Mangold a drink, so I will pay up in Motor City. How does that sound?
Detroit.
That's right.
Bob's going to be drunk by the time we all buy him a drink.
Believe it or not, it's the only time I actually really do drink.
You're going to have to start early.
That's right. That's right. Awesome. Well, hey, Tracy, thanks for putting this on, and thanks for hosting this. A lot of great information here. So definitely let's have some fun. Let's implement what everybody learned, and again, get back with the person who invited you here if you're a special guest, and let's have some fun and start growing EXP.
See y'all in Detroit.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
Have a good afternoon. Bye.